case I need it when I'm older.
When we started writing songs, 9 out of 10 ideas that Mick showed me, he was playing keyboard. And they were mid-tempo, somewhat rock songs, not heavy or anything. They were nice.
Lou Gramm's powerful voice launched Foreigner to the top of rock charts. But behind the iconic hits was a man struggling with a devastating health crisis that threatened not only his career, but his very existence. The fight that followed was brutal, altering his life's course forever. Join us as we uncover tragic details about Lou Gramm you never knew. Lou Gramm was born on May 2nd, 1950, in Rochester, New York, as Louis Andrew Grammatico. His father, Nicky, was a band leader and trumpeter, while his mother, Betty, was a singer. Growing up in a musical household, Lou was surrounded by melodies and rhythms from an early age. It wasn't long before his own love for music developed, drawing inspiration from his parents' passion and talent. He was influenced by the rock and roll sounds of the 1950s and 60s, which fueled his dreams of becoming a musician. Lou attended Gates Chili High School in Rochester, where his interest in music grew even more. He played in local bands, building his skills as a drummer before eventually stepping up as a lead singer. During his high school years, he joined a group called St. James Infirmary, performing at local clubs and school events. These early experiences on stage helped him build confidence and develop his unique voice, setting the foundation for his future career. After graduating, Lou continued pursuing his passion for music. In the early 1970s, he became the lead vocalist for a local band named Poor Heart. His powerful voice and charismatic presence quickly earned him a reputation as one of the best singers in the Rochester area. Poor Heart gained a loyal following, but Lou's ambitions went beyond local fame. He wanted to reach a wider audience, and he knew that he needed a bigger platform to do so. His breakthrough came when he joined a band called Black Sheep in 1973. Black Sheep was a hard rock group that showcased Lou's vocal power and stage presence. The band signed with Capitol Records, releasing 2 albums in 1975. They began gaining momentum, even opening for bands like Kiss. Lou's dynamic voice and energetic performances caught the attention of both audiences and industry professionals. It seemed like Black Sheep was on the verge of major success, but fate had other plans. Just as the band was gaining traction, a tragic event occurred. In December 1975, while traveling to a show, Black Sheep's equipment truck was involved in a serious accident. The loss of their gear was a major setback, and the band couldn't recover from it. Shortly after, Black Sheep disbanded, leaving Lou uncertain about his future. However, this misfortune turned out to be a blessing in disguise. During this time, Lou was introduced to Mick Jones, a British guitarist and songwriter who was putting together a new band called Foreigner. Mick was impressed by Lou's vocal abilities and invited him to audition. Lou flew to New York City, and during the audition, his powerful voice struck a chord. He was offered the role of lead singer, and in 1976, he officially became a member of Foreigner. This marked a turning point in his career, launching him into the international spotlight. Foreigner's self-titled debut album was released in 1977, featuring hits like Feels Like the First Time and Cold as Ice. Lou's soaring vocals played a key role in the band's success, helping the album reach multi-platinum status. Their sound, which blended hard rock with melodic hooks, resonated with audiences worldwide. Lou's voice became one of the most recognizable in rock music, and Foreigner quickly rose to fame. The band's success continued with their second album, Double Vision, released in 1978. With hit singles like Hot Blooded and the title track, the album solidified Foreigner's place in rock history. Lou's vocal power and emotional delivery were one of a kind, and his performances were electrifying. Fans were captivated by his ability to convey raw emotion and intensity, making him a standout frontman of the era. Foreigner's third album, Head Games, came out in 1979. Although it received mixed reviews, it produced popular tracks like Dirty White Boy and the title song. By this time, Lou was not only a celebrated vocalist, but also a respected songwriter, contributing to the band's creative direction. His input helped shape Foreigner's sound, blending rock anthems with heartfelt ballads. In 1981, Foreigner released 4, which became one of their most successful albums. With hits like Urgent, Jukebox Hero, and the ballad Waiting for a Girl Like You, The album showcased Lou's versatility as a vocalist. His emotional delivery on the ballads and his fiery intensity on the rock tracks highlighted his exceptional range. Waiting for a Girl Like You stayed at number 2 on the charts for 10 weeks, proving Lou's ability to connect with listeners. Amid Foreigner's success, Lou began exploring a solo career. In 1987, he released his first solo album, Ready or Not, which included the hit single Midnight Blue. The song reached the top 5 on the Billboard charts, demonstrating Lou's ability to succeed outside of Foreigner. His solo work allowed him to experiment with different musical styles while showcasing his signature voice. However, tensions within Foreigner started to rise. Creative differences between Lou and Mick Jones led to conflicts, affecting their working relationship. Despite this, Lou remained committed to the band, contributing to their next album, Inside Information, in 1987. But by the following year, the tensions reached a breaking point, and Lou decided to leave Foreigner to focus on his solo career. He released his second solo album, Long Hard Look, in 1989, featuring hits like Just Between You and Me. Still, his solo career faced challenges as musical tastes were changing with the rise of grunge and alternative rock, though Lou's voice remained iconic, continuing to inspire fans and fellow musicians. In 1992, Lou reunited with Foreigner, and the band released the album Mr. Moonlight in 1994. Although it didn't achieve the same commercial success as their earlier work, it reaffirmed Lou's place as one of rock's greatest vocalists. Meanwhile, conflicts over the band's creative direction only worsened. The story of Foreigner wasn't without its ups and downs. Conflicts between Lou Gramm and his bandmates became one of rock music's most dramatic tales. They were on top of the world, selling millions of albums and selling out arenas worldwide. But behind the scenes, tensions were brewing, and those tensions would eventually tear the band apart. At the heart of the conflict was the relationship between Lou Gramm and Mick Jones, who were both the creative forces behind Foreigner. Nevertheless, their different visions for the band's music led to heated disagreements. Lou was a rock and roll purist who wanted to keep the band's sound heavy and raw. He loved the hard-hitting tracks that made Foreigner famous and believed that was the direction they should continue to pursue. On the other hand, Mick was more interested in exploring new musical territories, including ballads and a more polished sound. He saw the potential for crossover success and wanted to broaden the band's appeal. This creative clash first became apparent during the making of the album 4 in 1981. Although the album was a huge success, featuring hits like Urgent and Jukebox Hero, Lou and Mick's disagreements over the band's direction grew more intense. Mick wanted to experiment more, pushing the band towards a more radio-friendly, mainstream sound, while Lou was eager to keep their rock roots intact. Despite the success, these differences began to create a rift between them. The situation worsened with the release of Agent Provocateur in 1984. The album featured the band's biggest hit, I Want to Know What Love Is, a song that topped the charts worldwide. Although the song was a massive success, Lou felt it marked a shift away from the band's rock identity. He worried that Foreigner was becoming too soft and losing its edge. Mick, however, saw the success of the track as proof that his vision for the band was working. Tensions reached a breaking point in 1987 with the release of Inside Information. Lou was becoming increasingly frustrated with Mick's control over the band's creative direction. Feeling restricted, he decided to pursue a solo career, releasing his debut solo album, Ready or Not. The album's success showed that Lou could make it on his own, which further strained his relationship with Mick and the rest of the band. Lou's decision to go solo didn't sit well with Mick. He saw it as a betrayal, accusing Lou of abandoning the band. Meanwhile, Lou felt that Mick was too controlling, not giving him enough creative freedom within Foreigner. The trust between them was broken, and the atmosphere within the band became toxic. Their contrasting views on the band's future were now more apparent than ever. Despite the tension, they continued to work together, but the damage was done. In 1989, Lou left Foreigner, citing creative differences as the primary reason. He was tired of fighting for his vision and felt it was time to move on. Mick tried to keep the band going without him, but Foreigner struggled without Lou's iconic voice. Fans were disappointed, and album sales declined. Realizing the impact of Lou's absence, Mick reached out to him, and in 1992, Lou agreed to return to the band. However, the reunion was short-lived, although they managed to release another album, Mr. Moonlight, in 1994. The underlying tensions between Lou and Mick never truly went away. In 2003, Lou left Foreigner for good. By then, the relationship between him and Mick was beyond repair. Mick continued with Foreigner, bringing in new lead singers, but the dynamic was never the same. Lou, on the other hand, pursued a solo career and frequently performed Foreigner's hits on his own. Looking back, the split of Foreigner wasn't just about creative differences. It was also about egos, control, and a friendship that couldn't survive the pressures of fame. Lou and Mick were passionate and talented, but couldn't find a way to compromise. Their story is a reminder of how even the greatest musical partnerships can fall apart when visions collide and communication breaks down. But that wasn't the only challenge Lou Gramm was facing. The pressures of fame and the demands of constant touring took a toll on Lou. Like many rock stars of his time, he fell into the dangerous cycle of substance use. At first, it seemed harmless, just a way to cope with the stress and exhaustion of life on the road. But soon, the substances became more than just an escape. They took over his life and became his vice. It gave him the energy to perform night after night, but it also began to consume him. His addiction started affecting his work. Lou's voice, his greatest asset, began to suffer. He struggled to hit the high notes that once came so easily. He became unreliable, showing up late to recording sessions and sometimes missing them altogether. His relationships with his bandmates grew tense as they grew frustrated with his erratic behavior. The once tight-knit group began to drift apart, with Lou's addiction creating a rift that seemed impossible to bridge. His personal life was in shambles. Lou became distant from his family and friends, choosing grief over the people who cared about him. He grew isolated, trapped in a cycle of addiction and self-destruction. No matter how much money or fame he had, it never seemed to be enough. The substances filled a void, but they also created new problems that he couldn't escape. Lou's health began to deteriorate. Years of substance use took a toll on his body and mind. He became exhausted and paranoid, always looking over his shoulder, convinced that someone was out to get him. His weight fluctuated, and his once bright eyes grew dull. It was clear to everyone around him that Lou was spiraling out of control. The lowest point came when he realized that his career was in jeopardy. Foreigner was no longer the powerhouse band it once was, and Lou's addiction played a big part in their decline. He knew he had to make a change, but breaking free from addiction was easier said than done. It wasn't just about quitting. It was about facing the pain and emptiness he had been avoiding for years. Finally, in 1992, Lou reached his breaking point. Tired of the lies and the chaos, he decided to seek help. He checked into a rehabilitation center, determined to reclaim his life. It wasn't an easy journey. Withdrawal was brutal, and he had to confront the damage he had done to his career, his relationships, and himself. Rehabilitation wasn't just about getting clean. It was about rebuilding his life from the ground up. Lou worked hard to repair his broken relationships and to make amends for the hurt he had caused. He learned to cope with his emotions in healthier ways without turning to those substances. It was a long and painful process, but slowly, he began to heal. During his recovery, Lou turned to faith for strength and guidance. He found solace in spirituality, which helped him stay grounded and focused on his sobriety. Lou became a born-again Christian, a decision that gave his life new meaning and purpose. His faith became a source of hope and a guiding light that helped him stay on the right path. Gradually, Lou found his voice again, both as a singer and as a person. Returning to music, he approached it with a new sense of gratitude and purpose. His performances were more heartfelt, his lyrics more meaningful, reflecting the struggles and redemption he had experienced. His story became an inspiration to others battling addiction. Lou didn't hide from his past. Instead, he used it to help others find hope and healing. Lou Gramm's battle with addiction nearly cost him everything, but his decision to seek help changed his life. Through rehabilitation and faith, he found a way to break free from the chains of addiction. He showed that no matter how far you fall, it's possible to rise again. His journey was not easy, but it was worth every painful step. Lou's story is one of survival and hope, proving that even in the darkest of times, redemption is possible. Unknown to him, this was the beginning of a life he never saw coming. In 1997, life threw another curveball at Lou. While preparing for a tour in Japan with Foreigner, he began experiencing severe headaches, memory loss, and double vision. Alarmed, he returned to the United States, where doctors diagnosed him with a brain tumor. Although the tumor was benign, it required surgery to remove. The procedure, however, impacted his pituitary gland, leading to considerable weight gain and affecting his vocal abilities. This was a devastating blow for someone whose powerful voice had defined so many rock anthems. The experience not only tested his physical endurance, but also served as a turning point, prompting him to reevaluate his priorities. But Lou refused to give up. He courageously faced these setbacks, determinedly working to regain his strength and continue his career. His passion for music remained as strong as ever, and he was unwilling to let his health challenges silence him. In 2003, Lou made the difficult decision to part ways with Foreigner permanently. This was not an easy choice, as he had been the voice behind so many of the band's iconic hits. However, he knew that stepping away would allow him to focus on his health and explore new musical directions. He courageously decided to pursue his own path, forming the Lou Gramm Band. With this new group, Lou began to reconnect with his roots and even ventured into Christian rock. In 2009, the Lou Gramm Band released a self-titled album, which showcased his continued passion for singing and songwriting. This marked a new chapter in Lou's career, highlighting his ability to adapt and evolve as an artist. During this period, Lou also took time to reflect on his life and experiences. He had been through so much, rising to fame with Foreigner, facing serious health challenges, and finding his way back to music. His faith had grown stronger during his health struggles, and this was reflected in his music. In May 2013, he published his autobiography, Jukebox Hero: My 5 Decades in Rock and Roll. The book provided fans with an intimate look into his journey, sharing stories from his early days in Rochester to his rise to stardom and the personal battles he faced along the way. Lou's candid storytelling revealed his resilience and courage, inspiring readers with his honest reflections on success, challenges, and perseverance. Recognition of Lou's significant contributions to rock music came in June 2013 when he was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. This honor was especially meaningful as he was celebrated alongside his longtime collaborator, Mick Jones. Despite their past creative differences, this moment highlighted the powerful partnership they had shared, creating timeless songs that became anthems for generations. It was an emotional and proud moment for Lou, as he was celebrated on such a prestigious platform. Even after leaving Foreigner, Lou continued to perform and make music. However, by December 2018, he announced his retirement from touring, citing health reasons. This decision saddened many fans who cherished his electrifying live performances. Although retired from full-time touring, he still made occasional appearances at special events and charity functions. He performed at the Lopin, a charity event benefiting children at Akron Children's Hospital, showing his commitment to giving back to the community. In 2019, Lou collaborated with Alan Parsons, lending his powerful voice to the track Sometimes on Parsons' album, The Secret. This project allowed Lou to explore new musical avenues while staying true to his signature style. Fans were thrilled to hear his voice once again, proving that his talent remained undiminished despite the challenges he had faced. Lou's ability to adapt and continue creating music demonstrated his enduring passion and artistic spirit. A monumental milestone in Lou's career occurred on October 19, 2024, when he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of Foreigner. This honor recognized the band's extraordinary impact on rock music and celebrated Lou's role as the voice behind many of their greatest hits. It was a moment of pride, marking his place in rock history. To commemorate this achievement, Foreigner released a previously unheard track, Turning Back the Time, featuring Lou's vocals from the early 2000s. Throughout these years, Lou demonstrated remarkable resilience and unwavering dedication to his craft. He navigated numerous health challenges, changes in the music industry, and personal growth with grace and courage. Despite the difficulties, he continued to follow his passion for music, inspiring countless fans and fellow musicians. His journey showcases his extraordinary perseverance, creativity, and the deep connection he maintains with his audience. Let's take a look at Lou Gramm's personal life. Beyond his musical achievements, Gramm's personal life has seen its share of joys and challenges, particularly in his marriages and relationships with his children. In 1973, Lou married his first wife, Nina Graziano. Together they welcomed 2 children, a son named Liz and a daughter named Jordan. This period coincided with the early stages of Gramm's musical journey, as he was making a name for himself in the rock scene. Balancing the demands of a growing career with family life was no small feat. Despite their efforts, the couple decided to part ways, finalizing their divorce in 1986. The end of his first marriage didn't deter Gramm from seeking love again. In 1992, he married Robin Burke. Their union brought forth another child, a daughter named Katie. Robin played a significant role in Lou's life, especially during his struggles with addiction. Gramm has been candid about his battles with substance addiction, and he credits Robin's consistent support as a cornerstone in his journey toward sobriety. Her encouragement and steadfast presence provided him with the strength needed to overcome his challenges. Unfortunately, after 27 years together, Lou and Robin divorced in 2019. Throughout these personal issues, Gramm remained a devoted father. His children have always been central to his world. When Lou was diagnosed with a brain tumor, the news was daunting, but with the support of his family, especially his children, Gramm faced the challenge head-on. The subsequent surgery was successful, but the recovery process was painful. The support from his family during this period highlighted the strength of their relationships. His children, witnessing their father's resilience, drew inspiration from his determination to overcome adversity. In recent years, Lou has embraced a quieter life, focusing on his health and family. The lessons learned from his marriages and the experiences shared with his children have shaped his perspective on life. He often reflects on the importance of family and how his children have been a source of inspiration and grounding for him. Navigating the complexities of a rock star's life while ensuring a stable environment for his kids was a balancing act he took seriously. Lou Gramm's journey through marriages, fatherhood, and personal challenges paints a picture of a man who, despite the highs and lows of fame, remains deeply connected to his family. He now cherishes moments with loved ones and the value of personal connections over professional accolades. As of 2025, Lou continues to inspire those around him. He occasionally appears at special events and remains active in charitable causes, showing his generous spirit. His legacy as one of rock's greatest vocalists is firmly secured, and his music continues to resonate with fans worldwide. Lou's story is one of resilience, faith, and an unbreakable bond with music. He has overcome immense challenges, never losing his love for performing and creating. His remarkable journey serves as an inspiring example of the power of perseverance and the importance of staying true to one's passion. Today, Lou Gramm's influence on rock music is undeniable. His powerful voice, emotional delivery, and unforgettable performances have left an indelible mark on the industry. Fans still celebrate his music, attending his appearances and cherishing the memories of his legendary performances with Foreigner. Lou's spirit and talent continue to shine brightly, proving that his voice remains timeless. His incredible journey from a small-town boy in Rochester to a rock and roll icon is a story of courage, creativity, and passion. Lou Gramm's legacy will undoubtedly inspire future generations of musicians and fans, ensuring that his music will live on forever. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.